Welcome back on the AM show. And after the news, we get into the news review. We have all the papers lined up. It's the usual culprits. Yours truly. I am here. And of course, there's a certain Samuel Kojo Brace, my partner in not crime.
Yes, exactly.
In nation building.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes.
Boom.
Thank you.
Sewa.
Thank you. Yes, we are building Ghana.
Building Ghana from scratch.
Oh, yeah.
Not like Stamford Bridge.
No.
That bridge was broken. That bridge was broken last week.
It's a porous bridge.
It was pulverized.
Very, very porous. I mean, anybody who believes in that bridge, I wonder what he or she sees.
The Blues!
Don't even talk about it. Who supports the Blues?
Is it Blue Band Margarine or?
No, it's Abidjan Blue. You remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we were young, we used to Charlie.
Yeah, Shep Blue, no sana. You know, they wash the thing. You do the first, you rinse. You do the second, you rinse.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boy we are now a sharp. Yeah, toso, yeah, the starch.
As a pound. Today will be the international blues.
But whatever, you know what the Bible says. There's nothing new under the sun.
No.
Even what the women are using now and saying boosters, then I say for the same, I guarantee. Now, I'm sharing in the 60s, 70s.
Oh, Kadia now for Coco there. Who's a Muja there.
Okay.
Yeah, and think I'll find one for Coco.
Oh, okay. You should have been a vandal, you.
Myself.
Well,
since I went to UCC, then it should have been Casford. But I was never giving Casford. I was giving Ogoa Hall.
But since you make mention of that, just before we get into the papers, two issues. The first one, you know, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Simon Osei,
exactly, yes,
has been saying that there's this culture where when the vandals in the University of Ghana are doing something, sometimes Kingsley Hayford will come, Katanga will come, and vice versa. In this instance, the recent happenings at KNUST, he blames a lot of it on visiting students from Kingsley Hayford Hall, you know, Commonwealth and all of that. And it says that those from Katanga were not in their numbers in that crowd. And so,
it is not possible.
And that even when the hall weeks are being organized, they should ensure that it's just members of Katanga and all of that. Do you think that's the solution?
No. Let me tackle his idea about the fact that there will be less Katanga Hall members in there. From what I know,
right?
Anytime these guys are doing these things, the host has a chunk of its people in there. So it cannot be the case that Casford is doing something and then Commonwealth and Katanga people would outnumber Casfordians. It won't have. I've never seen before. I don't know how it can be possible. That Katanga is the one hosting, and then these Kingsley Ford guys and then Commonwealth will outnumber them. I don't know. Again, we've tried in the past to ban these things. SRC, Hall Week celebrations. We've tried to ban it. When I was on campus, there were several instances where the university thought, let's ban celebrations as a way of curing this. But it never cured it. I'm thinking they should involve the alumni in fighting this. Because see, most of the hall masters, the principal officers of the universities are, do we say alumni or alumnus? Alumnus or alumni, because there are a lot of them,
plural,
of these halls. So they should rather sit around the table and say, how can we deal with this? It's about time we stop experimenting the things we've done in the past and has given us very little results. They say that if you want different results, you have to change your strategy, do things differently. If we keep saying ban, and we are not getting the results, let's change it. Really.
Anyway, so I see a message coming through about the sound quality, the volume being very low on our live feed. We're working on that, but you might as well want to up the volume on your own gadget as well. But the second matter I want to discuss, it feeds into my blunt thoughts for today. And by the way, the title of my blunt thoughts today, Ghana's Jinyame economy, hypocritical Christian groups and the raw suffering of the masses. Ghana's Jinyame economy, hypocritical Christian groups and the raw suffering of the masses. But one of the things I'll get into at a point, you know, in recent times it was trending, and I say this without any negativity towards the China Mall, but it was trending that they pay their workers 580 Ghana cedis a month. And Manasseh Azuri Awini also came in to say that, yes, that may be terrible, but how about some rubbish company that is paying 180 cedis a month? I'll not mention the name. But you see, I was just No, there's a reason. There's a reason I'm doing that. But I was just putting things, reflecting on certain things. I'll give the details in my blunt thoughts. And just wondering, 580 cedis.
Yeah.
What can you do with that in a month?
Nothing.
And talk about even inflation and the reduction in what 580 cedis could do in its PPP. And I am shocked at how Ghanaians are getting by.
But that is why you get a lot of people say Ghanaians
are magicians, eh?
Exactly. Because if you look at your earnings and you look at your expenditure, it is not because you are frivolous in spending. But there are certain things you cannot do with that. For example, if you have to take a transport to work every day, you have to go to work with your car. You cannot say, even if you park it and take public transport, you will still come back to the fact that you spend more on transportation. So if I earn, say, 580 a month, and I have to take transport of, say, 20 cedis a day, that's how much? That's like 100 cedis. If I'm working 5 days, 100. So by the end of the month, I've spent 400. So I'm left with 180 cedis to spend on, if I have a family, my family and myself.
And how is that possible?
Exactly.
You know my reality? And this also feeds into what I'll be talking about today. Just about a year ago, a little over a year, or just about a year ago, I was spending about 240, 250 cedis to fill my car's tank, 1.6 liter engine.
Okay.
Do you know that as of yesterday, when I went to a fuel pump and filled my tank, thanks be to God, I can still do that. It cost me 580 cedis, 10 pesos. Do you know what increment that is? 141.67%. 240 cedis.
40, yeah.
Max 250.
Yeah.
That is an increment of 141.67%.
How many days is it able to last you?
5 days.
Exactly.
No more. It's not even up to a week. So I end up spending between 2,600 and 3,000 cedis on filling my tank alone.
And
why? Like on a more serious note.
A month.
So you're basically living from hand to mouth because utilities haven't come and utility tariffs are going up come the 1st of September. You have family to take care of.
Yes.
Though I am not married, I don't have children. You have your parents, your mom, other things to take care of. You do.
Yes.
I have other responsibilities. I have 5 godchildren, all boys.
Okay.
Some in school, doing this, doing that. I have obligations to my church. Sometimes I just reflect on it and wonder how we even survive in this economy.
That's why I say it's either we are magicians or
it's the grace of God.
Those of us who believe in God.
Yeah.
The grace of God that is
Charlie.
helping us to get by. Because if you sit down and look at it, people see you smile and they think everything is fine. Everything is not well, but you cannot cry, you cannot frown, you have to smile. Smile with you. Because that's it.
Let's smile into the papers now. Anyway, so I have the Daily Graphic, Republic Press, the Finder, and the Daily Statesman. What do you have?
I have the Ghanaian Times, the Daily Guide, I have the Publisher, and the Custodian.
All right, let's start with you.
Okay, so the Ghanaian Times. Iyoko boss didn't comment on one prosecution, according to APC. It comes with a picture of COP Mameya Tiwa Adodankwa, Iyoko boss. Mamobi resident demonstrate against demolition exercise on Sunday. And it comes with a photograph of the demonstrators there. Yeah. It was hugely covered on Joy News yesterday. Papani actually was in the thick of affairs whilst they were demonstrating.
You know, this is a bit personal to me.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of friends, people I know in that community. Yes. I even saw some of them live on television yesterday, and it broke my heart.
Okay.
You know, that because these are people, like I said, since the Champon regime, they've been in this place. They've lived there. And you know, technically, per the law, even when it's state land and you allow people to stay there. I saw this in Brazil, where you allow people to stay there for a period of time. Certain rights are lost, so to speak. And the mere fact that they even want to evict these people without any compensation is worrisome. Look at the economy. Where do you expect the people to go? In this economy, where do you expect them to go? Where rent is nothing less than, when you're even looking at a small single room with some local fuel, maybe even without toilet facilities, you're looking at around 200 cedis. If you're looking for, a small single room in some area that is not exactly, maybe in the armpit of town.
Okay.
If you're looking at somewhere like Jowlu, you could be looking, just for a single room, let's say self-contained, you could be looking at as much as 600, 700 cedis. If you're looking for 2 bedrooms, I operate in these circles, so I know very well.
Yeah.
1,005, 2,000, 2005. If you're looking at the Chados and the rest now, it's no joke. You get
Exactly,
it? So when you evict people like that, where do you expect them to go? How do they keep body and soul together? Where do they lay their heads? And for each of the people you saw yesterday on the streets, they have family. So multiply that.
One lady's story broke my heart. The lady who had her baby strapped around her, and she was crying. That look.
I think I saw that.
Her husband has lost the job. This is where they live. If you ask them to move now, they don't really know where they're going.
I don't know whether it's the same woman, but another one also said that her husband is even bedridden. He has an illness.
There's another one.
Yes.
But this one.
And how will she even move such a person?
So maybe government should reconsider. Like you say, I think the new law has taken away that one. But laws are not retrospective, I'm told, isn't it? They are progressive.
Yes.
So when these guys were
rarely would you see a law acting.
So when these guys were living there,
or retrospectively, I should say,
they were like the old law. Because of the number of years they've lived there, some rights, because it's state land, some rights belonging to the state have been lost.
And these people have been paying AMA dues and this
you
and
have
that,
to look
all
at,
those things.
You have to look at how you can handle this. Either you have a relocation center you want to take them to,
right,
or you find a way to make the relocation seem effortlessly so that you don't jeopardize. Because the stories that some of them were telling us, look at that small boy who said that if you push me away, my education will be truncated in a way. That's something the government...
But you know something else very quickly that this brings to mind? The bit about affordable housing and how it has failed us in this country.
No.
Because if we had proper affordable housing systems,
we should take away affordable.
It could have been very easy to move these people somewhere, maybe even tell them that, look, over the next few years, you're going to pay these small components, and then these facilities become yours. We can't do that because affordable housing has not been affordable, and it's failed us in this country.
It is not. And sometimes when you hear some government spokespersons explaining why it cannot be affordable to anything, I look and sometimes listen to them and I ask myself a lot of questions. That you say you're doing affordable housing, and then the housing is costing around 400,000 cedis. How affordable is it to everybody here? If you look at majority of us, who can afford 400,000 cedis? And sometimes you even have to pay upfront before you can get access to the house.
Yeah. So you know what ends up happening? The very misleaders we have, who can afford it, go for it, and then they tell us they've built affordable housing units, which you and I can't afford.
They should really change that. They should remove the affordable housing from it. And I'm shocked about this government's guys at the State Housing Corporation. I thought they could do something different. But the houses they are building, and they are costing 480,000 cedis. You ask them why is it, and they tell you why. Do you know how much it costs to build a house? But if you want to put up affordable houses, who are you targeting? Yeah. Not the poor. Yeah. People who can't even afford to build their own houses. Look, where you think you are bringing them an arrangement where over 20 years or 30 years they can pay the house and it becomes theirs.
Boss, let me tell you something.
Really?
A lot of people in the middle class, the middle class, those who at least have good jobs and the rest, can't afford affordable housing units in this country. They can't.
You and I, can we afford the 400,000?
The answer is no.
No.
We can't.
And then they give you some...
Because that's similar to some projects in cantonments and the rest, which are requesting for 70,000 and the rest. Yes, it's the same thing. But can we afford that now?
No, we can't. So really, I think that the State Housing Corporation should change the whole idea of affordable. If you want to build affordable houses, let them be affordable. Don't build and tell me that, do I know how much it costs to put up a house? Then how affordable is it?
Meanwhile,
where lies your affordability?
Meanwhile, Kojo, in other countries, affordable is affordable right here in Africa, and they are doing them. Why we can't do same, only God knows. Let's check out other stories.
Anyway, vandalism on KNUST campus, police chase 62 students, secure bench warrant for arrest of suspect. These are the stories there. It says, don't wrap your kenke in plastic. Chemical can cause severe health problems. Dr. Efriye warns. I think this is a story we should take keen interest in, because the issue of our plastics, we haven't been able to deal with it well. And if
we haven't had the will to deal with it well.
And this is coming from the Minister of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, MESTI, Dr. Kweku Efriye. He's a medical doctor.
Yeah.
So I think and he's a policy maker. can we move from don't to bring in laws and policies that will not allow people to wrap their kinkies in plastics?
You know, some of us have a certain consciousness. In recent times, when I go somewhere, let's say I've bought something in plastic. You know, for example, walking right here through Kukumlimli, I could buy, let's say, a juice drink, the orange juice seller outside. Buy it, she would give me a plastic bag. I go to purchase water, plastic bag. I go to purchase maybe noodles, plastic bag. So you know what? When I take the first plastic bag, all the other things I'm going to buy, I refuse plastic bags, put everything in one, and I see whether I can reuse them. But not everyone has this mindset because we don't realize that the more plastic we're introducing in our system, the more we are actually in different ways killing ourselves. But with no clear policy, that is what people will do.
Exactly. And
that's what people will do.
He is even targeting, you know, the Fanti Kinky makers have now been wrapping plastics around the kinky itself before the plantain leaves. And he's saying that.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you haven't?
I had no idea.
Oh, then it means
it's been a long time. I bought one some months ago, but ended up not even eating.
Oh, I bought some weeks ago.
But do you know why that is so worrying for me? Before you go on.
No.
Because doing so with the plastic, I don't know whether that is before heating.
Oh,
or after heating.
No, that's before because it is. The kinky is in the plastic before it is wrapped with the plantain leaves. So it is in there, and before they go to boil them.
Do you know what that does? You know, plastic contains all of this polystyrene and whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
It absorbs the chemicals. It means, in effect, we are not trying to ruin the Fanti Kinky business, but it means, in effect, if they are doing that, we are consuming carcinogenic, cancer-causing.
That's why he says research has found that certain chemicals in the plastic could leach out of the plastic into the kinky and cause severe health problems such as metabolic disorders, including obesity and reduced fertility. In those days, when they were making Fanti Kinky, we didn't see any plastics around the kinky. What has changed? They should go back to the way they used to do kinky, where there was no plastics. That could save us because they need to think about our health. A lot of people are dying today. We don't understand. It's from what we eat, really. They say you are what you put in your system. So those who
you are what you eat. Yeah.
So the people who make our food should check all of this. Make sure you are reducing the things that are harmful to our health. So our Fanti Kinky makers, please remove the plastic from the kinky. Wrap it in the plantain leaves. It's even healthier.
You know, plastic can be so dangerous that even when you're using a microwave, lots of people don't know. You must first ensure that the plastic you're using is microwave safe, so that leaching doesn't happen. And even then, don't cover the thing while in the microwave. Leave it open. And some of the little things we're doing, that is why we are seeing an uptick in, you know, cancers and all of that. It's like people buying, you see the takeaway packs, and people heat food in the takeaway packs. They contain the polystyrene agents, and you are killing yourself,
so
basically.
They leach into it. They leach into your food, and then you poison yourself in the end.
Charlie.
Maybe we should be doing health.
We should have some education on some of these things. Really, I agree. At Daily Graphic, food is available but not always affordable or accessible. That's according to an ISA report. I'll get to that on page 13 of the Daily Graphic. Council of State backs measures at stabilizing cedi. You know, in recent times, they've called to meet Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and who else?
I think they have even intervened in the whole Ghana traders.
Yes. So Guta is not going on that strike.
I remember the tag, that's the Traders Advocates of Ghana, urged their members not to close their shops. They have to go out and sell. So it was good that Council of State also called Guta to reason with them that, look, it isn't good for you to close your stores, because when you close your store, the other international store, which you're always competing, is not closing.
Yeah. So you're just going to run out of business. Yeah. There's also the banner headline, NHIS now covers childhood cancers. Sickle cell drug also catered for. That's according to the Vice President. And you would recall the great work of, I forget his name, one professor. I actually met him at the Kempinski Hotel some time back. He has championed this cause when it comes to sickle cell anemia and all of that. And then even the possibility of using hydroxyurea and all of that. And he passed in recent times, but his legacy lives on. This is part of his legacy. And there's this 14-year-old girl, I think, who passed recently. She died of cancer. She championed childhood cancers actually, being on the NHIS, the scheme. And again, so we must celebrate these. The young girl was in the papers just, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago.
But on that score too, we should also give some kudos to the First Lady.
Yes, the Rebecca Foundation. She's also done amazing work.
Amazing.
She's done amazing
when it
work.
comes
In
to
fact,
including this, I've been following her for some time, and she was very particular on how this should get into the NHIA to help people.
And not just even these. She's also done some good things. In the same Mamobi area that I speak of, there's this mother and child care unit. I mean, she's been very hands-on with some of these things to do with especially women and children. And kudos to the First Lady.
She's done a lot
for that. Then there's, but let me just do the food story, and I think we shall wrap it up. On the back page, Andy Yadom, reliable defensive backup. Let me do the food story, and we shall move on from the daily graphic. So food is available, but not always affordable or accessible. Now, a research project into food safety and the drivers of food choices in selected cities in the country has established that food is available throughout the year. However, affordability, quality, and accessibility are the challenges. Now, the study by ISA also established that although sanitary conditions and infrastructure in the open market were poor, it was the most preferred market for consumers, that is the local markets. The study undertaken during different seasons in 2021 was done simultaneously at major markets in Accra, Kumasi, and Tamale in 3 rounds of consultation with local stakeholders of urban food systems. So that is the story there. Has anything changed for you? The usual price you would, I don't know whether you go to the market often, but what you would get a tuber of yam for, plantain, a bunch of plantain, tomatoes and the rest. Has anything changed for you?
Yeah.
Or do you no. When you give out the kudi, has anything changed?
Things change. I mean, what do I often buy? Okay, I mean, since I've been in Accra, it's not like I was in Takoradi where I could go to the market to shop for the family. Now I do buy a lot from the street. But you do have the sense that price of food is always on the increase, because when you go today, they are like, you are buying things at an expensive rate. So I think that, surely, food prices are still on the increase. But people do blame it on middlemen. I don't know, maybe we have to go to the hinterlands to check it for ourselves. Then we can do a very good analysis on whether or not middlemen have played a huge role in how expensive food has become. Because we are being told that in the farm gate or at the farm gate, food is very, very affordable. But when it's being transported into the marketplaces, that's where the prices go up. I don't know why.
Well, that is part of the problem. It's not as though all of them exactly. Sometimes you go up north and you would look at yam prices there and compare them to when they come down south. I mean, that's a phenomenon because of transportation, because of harvest losses, post-harvest losses, so many factors in there. But the fact remains that food, that's what the ISA report is saying. It may be available, but in terms of access across the board and in terms of cost and all of that, there are so many dynamics at play.
Exactly. And we need to explore all of the dynamics to be able to conclude on what is it that is causing, the rise in the cost there. Because if we are told that farm gate, the price is so cheap, why does it come to the market and it becomes expensive? Now to the Delhi Guide now, and Farouk Mahama showcases Gizdek prospect. He says, let me quote, under his leadership and management, he's the board chair for the Ghana Integrated Iron and Steel Development Corporation. He says under his leadership, the company is poised to provide strategic direction and the needed dedication to birth a vibrant integrated iron and steel industry in Ghana. We'll be keeping an eye on how this guy, because I see that he has a lot in him. His father was once the vice president of this country, and I'm sure he learned a lot from him. He says he wants to make sure that Gizdek prospers. So let's give him the support and see what he can do. FDA lab gets WHO pre-qualification status. NDC will lose 2024 elections. According to President Nana Addo Dankwa-Akufo-Addo. Menchia shuts down Oyerepa FM. We did that story hugely here yesterday, and this morning too was in our news. NPP appoints deputy national officers. And Ben, maybe I need to run you through some of the people they've appointed. Now, let's see. Henry Boache will now be supported by Joseph Kwawaja and a certain Chris Lloyd, as the deputies. KGM4 is having Mimi Dia and Hajia Safia Mohammed as deputy women's organizers, while Salah Mustafa has Jihad and certain Sandra as deputy youth organizers. Deputy national coordinators are Ali Suraj of the Office of the Vice President and another person yet to be named. There's a new director of finance and administration in the person of William Yamwa, who replaces Collins in Team Nuama, who lost the national treasurer position to Dr. Charles Dramana. New director of communications is Richard Ahiagba. Richard Ahiagba is now the director of communications, a former director of Dankwa Institute, who until recently was director of research at the presidency. He has Kamal Dean Abdullahi as his deputy, and Duros Miracle Abuaje. Dennis Miracle Abuaje is also Miracle Abuaje was being taped to be the director of communications.
Yeah.
He's been appointed as a deputy rather. There's new director of international affairs, Kofi Amayao, is also replacing. Okay. That's it.
So at least he's also come into the
exactly.
frame.
Yeah.
Right. Let's very quickly look at some of these stories right before sports. Republic Press this morning. Two of the issues that I'll focus on are there. I'll leave them for last. But Akufo-Addo's government has implemented good systems to stop corruption. That's according to Baumia. Bono region, angry youth set Forestry Commission office ablaze. I'll talk about that. Manshia chases Oyiripa FM or TV over Odike's Galamsey allegations. And Galamsey is rife in Ashanti region. Minister concedes despite government's efforts. And I listened to some of the chiefs yesterday who are talking about the fact that, yes, they want Oyiripa FM and TV to shut down and all of that. I'm just asking myself, respectfully, Nananum, since when did chiefs now start, arrogating such powers to themselves, shutting down stations? I thought the proper way to go was through the NCA. But maybe I am bereft of knowledge. Maybe I'm not aware of what customary practices must be followed. Banishment, yeah, I think it's in your purview. But shutting down a station, traditional authorities, wow. Anyway, and then, so if the minister is admitting that Galamsey is rife, how are we stemming the tide? Because the chiefs yesterday were saying that they are not custodians of the land in that sense. They cannot do much. And so from what Nananum were saying, it means that government is the one that must stem the tide of these. It's happening under their noses. And per what they are saying, there's nothing they can do. I don't know what your take is on this shutdown of Oyiripa, I think from today. Then the Bono youth setting the Forestry Commission ablaze. I think indiscipline is getting out of hand in the country. And finally, something for you to reflect on. Buffer Stock CEO hot for advertising himself on BEC exam papers. Have you followed that one?
Oh, no.
The Pusiga District Directorate of the Ghana Education Service has been petitioned to immediately stop mock examination papers which have been embossed with the photograph of the CEO of Buffer Stock Company Limited, Alhaj Abdul Hanan Aludiba.
Why do we do this?
I can't think far.
Really? Anyway, but on same Galamsey, Mrekuduka is in charge of Deputy Minister of
Yeah. He's even pictured here.
Exactly. He says, please, let us find a way to resolve Galamsey. It is really not in anybody's interest to want to make Galamsey something that will prosper. Let us find a way to solve it. And he's been very, very passionate about how to solve it. But I wish to see more. He's doing a lot. He's now gone to the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs to say, look,
he says it's a shared responsibility, re-echoing what Mr. President had said, that we must work hand in hand.
And I hope our traditional leaders can, because look, the lands are yours. You know every corner of your land. And you have your chiefs informing you of all activities happening there. Can they really help us to fight this? Dispassionately, we are pleading with them. Because no chief will tell me that he doesn't know what's happening on his land when it comes to Galamsey. They should help us. I know some of these traditional leaders who are aware of the activities that these people are doing and are even asking for support from them. I'm not talking about Ashanti region. I'm talking about what I know in my Western region.
Yeah.
They should find a way to help us out.
Charlie, I am done with my stories. Let's do another 40 seconds from your end and we can call it a wrap.
That's why Duka's one. He says Duka demands dispassionate resolution of Galamsey, publisher. Major relief for parent has kids cancer, sickle cell come under NHIS. FDA attends whole lab. I think these are, and then again, they also talk about Farouk Aliu Mohammed's interest to see kids that prosper. So these are in the publisher. Custodian says, Baumia unveils good news, NHI, same thing. Kumasi Traditional Councils ban Oyerpa FM. Mills Library undergoes renovation. Oh, good news.
Yeah.
The Mills Library in Cape Coast is now being renovated. Good news, because I wonder why we were sitting down there to watch this infrastructure go waste.
Anyway, since you've done it so quickly, the Finder, just 2 headlines. IGP deploys enhanced visibility strategy. And this one, Black Star did not advise. Let me just find a newspaper. There's a difference between the noun and the verb. Advice is the noun. Advise with an S is the verb. Black Star did not advise, not advice, MIIF on Asante Gold shares purchase. That's according to management. That story has also been trending. But just before sports, note, I'll be firing on my blunt thoughts right after sports. And it's titled, Ghana's Jinyame Economy, Hypocritical Christian Groups and the Raw Suffering of the Masses. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us. Sports is up next.